Hello and welcome back to the Forgotten City. We have just gotten done talking to Lulia, and she told us about a pact that she made to commit suicide, and we are supposed to go, there it is. Ulpius is the one, is suicidal. I'll need him alive if I want to learn what he knows. So we need to go figure out how to stop Ulpius from killing himself. So that's where we are going to be headed. And this is telling us we are 92 meters away from him. I'm not sure. I'm gonna run this way around. Wow, that one turned into a statue just like that. Oh. Okay. I guess we want to leave it there. I don't know why I'm taking a sidetrack there, but I'm just getting distracted. Okay. Stay on task. Stay on task. Wow. That's the palace, isn't it? That's where Nevia, I think her name is, has holed herself up. Oh, it's the wind. I was like, what was that? Oh, look at this. Wow. Okay, they're right around the corner here. And there he is, right on the edge.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Can I not speak to her? There we go.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
I'm fine, thanks.
Ah, another stoic, perhaps. We all need something to help us through times like these. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
Okay, I really need to talk to Ulpius.
All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
I told you I needed to. All right.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
No.
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no!
Well,
I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb. Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
so I wonder.
I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Okay, we want to save Ulpius. So we're going to go back and try this again. Load game. This is the latest save. And now we know he needs to pay off his debts. So maybe we can get the money and pay him for him? I wonder how much his debts are. Where am I? Oh. Wait a second. Where am I? Did he already jump? I didn't know this was my latest save. Oh, okay, I see where I am. Okay. So we actually don't want to go up there and talk to him just yet. Do we? So what else do we want to do? Point of origin. What's that? Create a time paradox. The common thread. Behind closed doors. Find a way into the palace. Figure out a treatment for rheumatism. And figure out how to stop Ulpius from killing himself. Okay. Well, we're right here by the palace, so maybe let's find our way into the palace. Behind closed doors. That's the one we're going to do. Okay. I thought that if I made that a priority, okay, I have to click it, don't I? Okay. Because I saw that my things were going up. Seek a bow. I'm locking myself in. Don't try to follow me. Nothing good will come of it. Nevia. Is something hurting me? Was I being shot at or something? That was weird. Okay. I'm wondering if we can like climb No. Is there something up here? A lot of wind. An old chest. Oh, let's take them. Hello. Oh, we'll just hop right over that because that's what we can do. I wonder how much his debt is. Maybe we should go back and ask Lilia how much the debt is. How are we going to get in there? I think what was happening was I was standing on the fire. Oh, arrows. The assassin's bow. Where is the assassin's bow? So did we get arrows? Oh yeah, we did. 10 fletched arrows. Okay. We've got to seek a bow. How do I get a bow? Too bad my zipline doesn't work going up, too, huh? Well, we might not be able to get in there right now. I'm just not seeing. And that doesn't have a bow. Huh. Is that still one of my... Yeah, that's still one of my goals, so okay. Or is he actually dead? Did it... Oh, we saved it, didn't we? Huh. Okay. I just keep thinking there's got to be a way to get in there, but I sure don't know what it is. Well, let's see what else we can do. We do need to talk to people. What's this over here?
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Rufius, what's your story?
Can't talk long, but to stay sharp, like families from Solution, Tigris, Babylon province. I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions, the 6th, one they called Ironclads. Same way as everyone else.
Same way as everyone else, okay?
Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious?
No.
The magistrate made me toss it in a chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now.
Just toss it in the chasm.
If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either.
What are you dealing with?
Nobody is supposed to know about that. Did Lucretia tell you? Gah. Look, been at my best.
Okay, so he's the one.
All my joints ache constantly, and the pain. It has a way of messing with your head. I get stirred up by things that shouldn't bother me. And then there's the statues. My doubts about my faith. I just want to scream. I want to help you. Do what Lucretia hasn't been able to do. Find me something. Make the pain go away. Until then, get out of my face.
Okay, so he's the one that has rheumatism. And we need to help him get rid of it. Can I take that? And tragically never picked it up again. Alright. How come nobody dropped a bow? A fountain producing fresh water, but where could the water be coming from? Rufus grumbling. And my dog's going absolutely berserk. They wait until I sit down to record and then they go berserk. What is this? The toilets. A sponge stick. We'll leave that behind. We don't need that. Always remember they're watching. Here's someone we can talk to. What's in here? Virgil.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil.
Okay,
I only
Virgil.
have you to thank for saving Julia's life. I'm glad you arrived when you did.
Okay,
Well,
what's your
I'm an
story?
architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Tell me about the
I'm
city's
glad you
history.
asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
What does that
I'm
mean?
not sure. It could mean that the Romans who first started building here were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Interesting. Well, tell me about the city's
Gladly.
architecture.
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water in,
Not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
impossible, but You'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Figure out how to get into the upper cistern, okay?
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know. Of
Okay.
course. You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
Okay, what do you think of the
Some
Golden
people
Rule?
say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me, like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
Well, I think I do.
Then I hope you agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
How do you
Good
remove?
question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you will give it some thought.
Okay. I noticed the
Oh.
graffiti.
It means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the Golden Rule.
Why do they
Look,
think
I
that?
haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company.
Oh.
Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. Nice of
Okay.
you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one God, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Okay, let me look into it for you.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
Okay, I'll be
Nice
going
to
now.
talk to you.
We're not ready for the voting yet. Okay, what else have we got?
How'd you do? Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius.
We asked him his story. Well, do you know a way out of
Afraid
here?
not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not
There
sure I
we
trust
go.
her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking. Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though.
Alright.
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Okay.
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
I'll see what I can
Thank
do.
you, friend.
Any idea who's threatening
I
Virgil?
don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something. She was headed to the baths not long ago. Very well. Another time.
Alright. She was headed to the baths. And who are you?
Salutations.
Oh, this is Georgius.
I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
I'm from the world
Then you are an
beyond.
explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to say. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Always information. What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
Okay. Why set
You
up
mean
a
to
tailor
say,
shop?
with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Ah, yes.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Fair enough. How did you end up
Good
here?
question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Why didn't you tell me what you do remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa. Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Okay, tell Equita some people mentioned a memory last.
Anything you like.
Do you know a way out of here?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Did I say
Have you
something
not
wrong?
been told about the last attempt?
The last attempt?
Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. Ah, it is a long story.
Why don't you tell
Of
me?
course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out. They have. I am getting to that. There was an attempt, made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place, and so I say it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Got it. Okay, what do you think about the Golden Rule?
Yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
What can we do about
If we are
it?
to survive, I say we must each keep the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
Sounds simple enough.
Yes, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act. Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
Okay, any
This is
idea?
troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous though. Virgil is a fine man. But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it.
Okay, so I'm not sure
I
who
hope that our
Fabia
paths cross
is.
again soon, my friend.
Is there anything in here
This
I can
part of my
use?
shop is off limits, even for you, my sartorial friends.
Okay. Well, she's not here for us to talk to now. Alright then. Let's explore more along here. Okay, that was him. What is this? Oh,
Help! You have to do something!
well, that's Fabia.
A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon.
Uh-oh.
Have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Sure, I'll get right on it.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Maybe we shouldn't
What?
meet in there.
We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh. The shrine is collapsing.
Run out, run out! Oh boy. Okay. We didn't want that to happen.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl!
Well, okay, we did not want that to happen. And we talked to all these people, but you know what? We are going to load our game because we didn't want her to die. Yes. And I think it had saved us right at the point where we were ready to talk to her. Okay. If I just keep going this way, no matter what I do, we're gonna freeze. Oh, there we go.
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
All right, I'll get right on
Thank
it.
you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I heard a voice whisper, no.
We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh.
Nope, she's still gonna get killed.
The shrine is collapsing.
Right on her. And here he comes running.
Fabia, no!
I think when we come back we can fix that. Ooh, look at this.
The whole shrine just collapsed again. Oh, Fabia, why did you have
A
to go
Greek
with
vase.
poor sweet kid?
So we don't want that to happen, but at some point a Greek statue, probably of the goddess to whom this temple is dedicated. Perhaps a local Greek resident knows more about her. C to crouch. So what I was going to say is at some point we're going to end up coming back. Oh, it's loading? And so we'll have another chance to save her. Look at this. Wow. We're getting farther and farther away from our goal, but wow.
Come and join me by the fire. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
I'm Melly.
Sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
I found it by
Then
accident.
perhaps the fates brought you here to learn the secrets of this place. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I've been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find
Maybe.
out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the golden rule?
No.
You have much to learn. It's best if you figure it out on your own. Come back once you've made progress. Then you should speak with your contemporaries in the city above. Ask them about their stories and see if you detect a pattern of some sort.
Another
It is best if you
pattern.
come to this realization for yourself. You would never believe me if I told you.
Okay. So, we have to go back. And we have to question more people. Loading, loading, loading. Are we done? Oh, look, it's nighttime. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, we're supposed to go confront this guy in here. Here he is.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
No.
I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
Got it.
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
I have no clue.
A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
We're not cultists.
Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave?
We physically can't leave. There's no way out.
Threatening me is not going to help you. But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
Not a mantra, it's a warning.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
Let's see, a god's
Of course
bit.
you say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists, there's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quinctius is. Do not waste
But
it.
I don't know. What can you tell me
Very
about
well.
him?
Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process. Who are you to challenge what the Emperor says? Were you there? Do you have spies and scouts all over Rome, like he does? No, you do not. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
Well, I really don't know where he is.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Yes, don't do it.
As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quinctius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. and I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, we've got to run. Follow Cynthius and don't get shot. Well, we know where we're supposed to go. He's right smack. I mean, he was just inches from me and he couldn't manage to hit me. Okay, we gotta hide out in here until, oh, it's open. Here we go, starting all over again. And we're gonna start all over again a few hundred times before we get this done. Follow. Oh. Main goal completed, run.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius.
He never
Mind telling
remembers
who you
me.
are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Let's see. I need you to take care of something
Sounds
for you.
serious. I'm listening.
Julia's dying.
Yulia? Oh no. Alright, I can do that. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Because I'm smart. Okay, so what am I gonna do? Who are you?
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before, a certain learning and sophistication. Ugh, coming on a bit strong, don't you think?
Attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
I don't know. What's your story?
Let it go. Nothing's going to happen between us.
Okay, do you know a way out of here?
Normally, I'd expect you to buy me a drink before asking if I want to get out of here. I guess that went right over your head. Never mind. As a matter of fact, I do know a way out. I'm happy to tell you all about it, but this is valuable information.
Oh, she's the one that sold the poison to Lilia.
So, how badly do you want it? Is it worth, say, 1,000 denarii to you?
Tell me more.
I can't tell you too much, or you'd figure it out for yourself. But I promise you, you'll never have to spend another hour in this city ever again.
No, I'm not going
It's hardly
to.
my fault if people misunderstand the terms of a deal. I mean, it does say, let the buyer beware, right outside my tavern.
What do you think
I
about
just
the
try not to
golden rule?
Think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink.
Okay. Heard any interesting gossip?
Certainly. For 10 denarii.
Oh, I'm not going to talk to you about
Whatever
that.
you like.
I'll be
All
going
right.
now.
See ya.
I got those, is it in my inventory? Oh, there they are. I have 247 of those. Okay. Okay, what are we gonna do here?
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia,
That's the
would you
tavern's
stop
chest.
muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous
Oh,
lives.
this is who it
They
is.
are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Virgil's chest. So this is Virgil's room then. Oh wait. A small wooden model of an arena, possibly Verona Arena.
You,
Okay.
Tantalus, cannot catch the
I
drops
can
of
go up
water,
here.
and the tree you grasp at eludes you.
Livia's chest. We're not gonna steal just right now because we're not. A small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. This one depicts Apollo. Lucretia's chest. An herb rack. Wooden rack containing various dried and ground substances. We went in here. Surgical tools. Key to the chest in the shrine of Apollo. Okay. Well, that's cool that we've got that. Open the chest in the clinic in the shrine of Apollo. Okay, let's go do that.
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant labor the water they have lost.
Welcome.
Hey. Okay, so this is the shrine of Apollo. Where is the chest? She's crying. Ah. Nevia's treatment notes. Oh, I have to stand here and read them? Treatment notes. Flatulence, ulcers, stomach, rheumatism. We need willow bark. Okay. Can we take this? Will I get in trouble? Okay. So where am I going to find willow bark?
Welcome. Feeling all right?
I figured out how to
You made
treat
it into the palace.
rheumatism.
I'm impressed. How is Nevia? Oh, I see. Well, what's the treatment?
Willow bark.
Willow bark. I should have known. It was under my nose the whole time. That's very helpful. Thank you. If this works, it should settle Rufius down some. I have some right here. Could you do me a favor and give him some of this? He'll just need to swallow a pinch of it.
Okay, so we have
I'm
to go
hoping
find
it will avert
Rufius.
disaster.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you. I'm really glad you arrived when you did.
That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia's life. Apollo smiles upon you.
Alright, let's go find Rufius. Wasn't he up here? Yeah.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
About your rheumatism.
What business is that of yours? Willow bark. And this will work? Oh, thank God. Finally, some relief. This is what I've been praying for. Maybe God hasn't abandoned me after all. Thank you. I've been in a lot of pain lately. The rheumatism, these cursed statues always watching, and the
crisis of faith?
It was too much. Started messing with my head. This is exactly what I needed to set it straight again. I owe you one.
Okay.
No, I don't. I did hear a rumor that Aurelia, the tavern keeper, has been offering to sell a way out. But I barely have two sesterci to rub together.
What do you think about the golden rule?
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
What do you mean?
All these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. While we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here.
Interesting.
Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned.
What do you think is coming?
But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
I think you're right.
That doesn't help me.
Well, what am I supposed to say? You're a liar? Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay. We're gonna back up here and go somewhere we haven't gone yet. Ooh, look at him doing his push-ups. What is this? Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Uh-oh.
Suffer for the sins of the one.
We better run. I sure did not mean to do that.
Everybody run!
Oh my goodness. Hurry up, back up here. Okay, we gotta stay hidden until we get a portal. Here he comes. And we get sucked in. Whew. Boy, that was scary. I thought, oh my gosh, I was thinking, I don't know what I thought that was. I was thinking it was something I could use. Okay, let's have him go save Lulia. How much money do I have now? I wonder how much he needs. An inscribed stone talent? Oh, that's okay. 10 fletched aerials, key to the chest in the Shrine of Apollo. Oh. Nevia's treatment notes and willow bark. Okay. Hello.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
He doesn't know who I am, but he's gonna do it.
Yulia? Oh no. Alright, I can do that. Poor guy. My uncle was a victim at rheumatism's altar, and he ended up killing himself.
Okay, so he's
Alright,
gonna go
got
do
it.
those things for us.
I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Because I'm super smart. And because I've done it before.
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant labor.
Okay, where I want to go is not down there. What is down there? Ha, I changed my mind. Interesting. Okay. Oh, where am I going? Oh, look at this. Examine the eggs. What am I going to do with them? Can I sell them? Okay, whoops, we can't go through there. What, are we stuck? There. I just want to get onto here. There we go. Okay, we're gonna go across. No, I don't want to go across. I want to go down to the main square. This is where I wanted to go.
On your best behavior, I trust.
Horatius. Oh, what's your story?
I'm a legionary of the First Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
Okay, how did you end up here?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. Always doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Got a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Ram. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl and pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitive tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river, and then nothing.
So
Blacked
everybody
out,
ran
not
from the
here.
fire
No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver.
and into the river.
I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose. Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labour does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
Oh, he likes Scintilla?
He's one of
Okay.
the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Hmm. Do you know a way out of
I went
here?
around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
Can I see the citizen
see why not.
register?
Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. A register of each person in the city. Alright. Thanks.
Of course.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's
Yeah.
brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
You saying you're in
What's done is
favor of
done.
it?
I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Okay. Well, let's talk about something else. I'm just gonna go now. What are you doing? I don't want to talk to you. The door is locked.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Oh, that's the cistern. Not really, no.
You'd be eaten alive, little runt like you.
Eaten by
Nobody's
what?
told you about Hannibal? Oh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie, I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal.
What did you do?
Well, any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
Okay. I don't want to go down there right now.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Well, of course. What's this? Oh, that's okay. We don't want to come in here just yet. We're
On
gonna
your best
come through
behavior, I
here.
trust?
Of course I am. I'm always on my best behavior. Okay, we're gonna come up here, come up here. Oh, we can't go that way? No. Round and round and round we go. Wow. Aha. Oh no!
Oh.
Ouch. Well, that didn't feel real good. What I wanted to do was go over to save what's his name from killing himself, but I guess we need to go a different way to do that. So we do have to come up through here. I was just wondering if there was a way into the palace over there. Because I have something sneaky in mind. Since we get the chance to save him later, but we have to know how much he needs.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
Actually...
All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know, please.
I'm sorry, but I just don't.
Please,
I'm skipping through this because
it could be the end for us all.
we've heard it all before.
I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk.
Okay. I'll talk to him.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how...
I was just going to
screwed
ask
up
what's
my-
wrong.
I'll be stuck.
You
I'm
borrowed
out.
money.
Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
Huh. Was it my fault?
That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived.
Yeah, there
I'll have to
is.
let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Okay. And there's poor Ulpius.
I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate.
Okay. That's what I wondered, if that's the way into...
And now, I make this solemn promise to you.
So we snuck our way in. The door's locked. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, we'll leave that here. A note from Ulpius. Ulpius to his lost love. May God watch over you. Please know that I held on as long as I could, but without you, my life is meaningless. I only hope we meet again in Gan Eden. So, but I don't get a chance to tell him that she's not dead. Lulia to her captors, Malleolus and Claudia, curse you to the depths. By the time you read this, I'll already be dead, because death is preferable to another day in debt bondage to you. May vultures peck out your livers in Tartarus for all eternity. An empty bottle, which we're not going to take. Carrots are purple as they were before modern orange carrots. Oh. An ink jar. Ceramic ink jar. The ink appears to be made from soot and water. Soot. Sculpture of Minerva, the Roman goddess of strategy. Uh-oh. I want to go talk to this guy first. Oh, it's gonna save it.
Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above?
I'm Superman,
That
of course I
was
did.
Either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
What's your story?
I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the election later today.
What will you do if you win?
I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
He's got the blue and green eye. How will you
By
do that?
declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie? The person making a claim bears the onus of proving that claim. Can you do that? Can you prove the Golden Rule is real?
The Golden Rule is
Nonsense.
definitely real.
There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already.
I'm reliving the same day.
Oh, I see what's happening here. Another poor, vulnerable soul taken in by Sentius's machinations. He won't get away with this much longer.
What would it take to prove it to you?
You're not one of those people who believes everything you read. As if a lie could be transformed into the truth by the simple act of writing it down.
Even if you can't prove it, if I'm right, then accepting it will avert disaster. If I'm wrong, then accepting it will make the city a better place. Isn't that a good thing?
I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best for the city's people, and that means giving them the freedom to do as they wish.
Well, nothing I
True,
say.
but that is simply because you are mistaken.
Do you know a
I'm
way
afraid
out
not.
of here?
We're stuck down here together, for better or worse. We're all going to have to make the best of it.
What do you think of
You
the
mean
golden
the
rule?
children's fable exploited by Sentius to scare us all into doing what he wants?
Okay.
I trust you can see yourself out.
Well, of course I
Through
can.
the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Okay. There's a key beside the door. That's the key? Oh. Okay, we're going to take it and unlock the door. And we want to keep it unlocked, and so we're going to save. That was F5. Yep. So can we get back into it?
How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers? If I cop an earful from that,
Alright. So we can walk around here as we want now. He didn't care that we jumped into his pool. Oh, where are we going? Okay. Okay, that's a bust. The sculpture of Minerva. We don't have a sculpture there. Perhaps we need one. The sculpture of Minerva. Is that what they all are? Okay. Unlock door. We can't. Or did we? Oh. Oh my goodness. Hello.
I'm not supposed to be in here.
Can we talk?
Talk? What business could you possibly have with me?
Why are you locked in this room?
My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much.
What's your
I
story?
think a better question is, why am I being interrogated by a stranger who just barged into my villa? I have quite enough marriage trouble already, without having to explain to my husband why I'm receiving strange women in private.
Do you know a way out of
Preferably
here?
the way you came in, by which I mean, please leave.
What do you think of the golden
I
rule?
think it's about to be broken if you don't hurry up and leave.
Okay, I'll be going
Fine.
now.
This is outrageous.
Can I search the chest? No, we're not going to steal from her. I think what we're going to do is figure out what we're supposed to do in the next video. So I will see you back in the Forgotten City next time. Bye bye for now.